hello, and welcome to another podcast segment. I am Thawana, and this is On Purpose, and we're so excited that you're with us. So remember your homework, you have it already. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share this channel with those that you love, all right? Sharing is caring, okay? So again, I am Thawana, and this is On Purpose. Thank you for joining. I am, again, excited about our guest. He is amazing, and I'm going to share him with you because I share those special people that I care about and those people that are doing amazing things. So, welcome, Fred Griffin. The Fred Griffin, guys.
No.
Yeah, the Fred Griffin. I'm telling you, I'm honored. I am absolutely honored. So how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited that we're together.
All right.
We see each other all the time at church,
Yes.
coming and going. And so to be here in this space with you,
Right.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. When I received the text, I'm like, no.
Why not?
I know. It's just one of them things. I try to stay behind scenes.
You're so humble.
I really am. I mean, I try my best.
You are. So listen, for the people that don't know you, tell them a little bit about you. Whatever you want them to know.
Okay. I'm Fred Griffin Jr. I'm 37 years of age. I am married to my wonderful wife of 10 years. We have two beautiful girls, and just living life to the best with God's grace.
I love it. And you're going to find out he's so humble. I'm probably going to have to pull some things out of him, but he is an amazing person, and I just wanted to share you with them. So, okay. So I'm going to start out. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, what are you working on? Anything special? What are you a part of right now? And what brings you so much joy and fulfillment?
Well, actually, coming out of campaigning, I think I'm trying to get my life back. I think a lot has been taken away because I've been on this political trail for the last about 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
Running for myself and then helping others achieve their goals of being a government official.
Wow.
So it was my time again back in November.
Yes.
So I took a break and just woosah, locked myself in over Christmas break, and just trying to get my life back.
Yeah, because how much of your life does that consume, Fred, when you are campaigning?
It takes a lot. I started back in November of 2013, so a whole year I was campaigning. Because one of the things they were saying that, well, you started a little late back in 2020. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get a head start.
Yeah.
So that consumed a lot of my time away from home, and then trying to fit in other things that I would like to do, family, girls, and everything, ministry.
Wow.
So it takes a lot, but when you're purpose for it, you just walk into it.
You walk into it. Okay, so how do you balance? Because you talked about the family, the girls, and we all know that if we blink, these kids will be growing up. Like, I looked at your baby girl the other day standing by your wife, and I said, Dentrell, like, what? She says, I know. And so how do you balance all of that, Fred, and make sure that you are taking care of home, but you're also, how do you divide yourself, and what does that look like?
That is really a really good question.
Okay.
I typically, longest I make sure that I do my daily devotion. That's the top priority.
That's how you start your
Yes,
day.
that's how I start my day, and I end my day. Just to make sure that I'm in sequence with the Holy Spirit of what I need to do in life. And then also, I still make sure I do date nights with my wife and girls.
Yeah, they're date nights. Don't mean to cut you off, but like, go follow him if you have not, because you should. Fred Griffin Jr. But their date nights, y'all date nights, honey, make people want to date.
No.
You're intentional about it too.
I'm very intentional because I know it was one point in my life where we missed out on dating. because of health challenges. So I had to
Yeah.
be very cautious where I went.
Yeah.
Had to go in and out of the doctor's offices. So I spent a lot of time home during that period.
Yeah.
And now that I reflect back on it, I say, well, I need to change it to make sure that I balance my wife and girls. So I even
Yeah.
date with the girls.
I know you do.
Yeah, I take the girls on a date night.
I know you
so,
do.
But I just want to make sure that they know that no matter what I'm doing in the community,
Yeah.
that I'm not neglecting them.
They're first.
Yes.
Oh, no, date night, it's the cutest thing, like, and it's not like some jeans and tennies, like, they get all spruced up. They really do. And so I can appreciate that you make time to do that because it's necessary.
It is.
It's necessary. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you about tonight was just your community involvement and how engaged you are. Like, you cannot keep up with this man. It's not possible. You cannot keep up with Fred Griffin. And I want to know, where did your passion for serving your community come from? Like, is that a way that you were raised? Where did that come from? Because Fred, like, you are out there.
Yeah.
I mean, and what I love about you is you're such a supporter of other people and their endeavors and that kind of thing. Fred is also, disclaimer, most of you know where I work, so I won't say, but Fred is a committed volunteer through our organization, and it's got nothing to do with me. I didn't know when we put together some hygiene kits a few weeks ago for a hurricane disaster. I was not at work, but I get back at work and see a picture. Fred's in the picture, just working. And I was like, oh my God, how does he do this? So, Fred, where did that come from?
It stemmed way back during my school age. I graduated in 2005 from Eustis High School.
Yes.
And it started way back when I was in middle school in economic class. And they pulled me away. Now, just 7 periods, and they pulled me away and say, hey, we need you to help the economic teacher get the, at that time it was the babies, where you can take the babies homes.
Oh.
And it was one of these programs. Well, they didn't have anyone to do the laundry and get the baby bags packed, check to make sure that students were passing. I'm in the 7th grade doing all this. But they identified that I was a leader at that young age, and I didn't see it at the time. But now when I reflect and look back, they seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. So that's where it stems back, way back at Eustis Middle School in economic class. Just getting the babies dressed and take them home to the students, and I used to sit there and take the package out, and I used to see how many times they cried. Did the student wake up and put the key in it, and it was pretty neat, you know.
Oh my goodness! So Fred, this is so cool because typically we have to motivate our children to be involved. I know when my oldest was younger, there is a local organization that does, Linda Mobley, amazing, House of Hope, amazing work in the community. And he used to volunteer with her. And it was because I was doing some work with her, kind of her photography at the time. But typically with children, like, we kind of have to nudge them along to do that. So with you, like, was it something that just continued through school? Like, 'cause I can see you being like class president or whatever. Like, what were you? Because I know you were something.
I was in the student body.
See, I told you.
Yeah, actually, I was the senator at the time. I was the senator of my class. And never thought, I promise you, I never thought that I would be in government. But when I look back at student government, I'm like, that was not, I wanted to be a business owner, as in a restaurant. Because I'm certified in culinary arts. So I went through the program and all that good stuff. And I wanted to have my own restaurant.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Oh my goodness. See, I told you you were busy. So when it comes to the community, Fred, like, how do you I don't know. Like I'm trying to, when I see you moving around, I try to figure out like what your calendar must look like. Fred, like you can be in 3 different places in one day.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
In a good
And
way.
Fred is also an entrepreneur,
Yes.
owns several businesses. So does his wife. They're busy in ministry. So how do you ever have to say no sometimes, or I can't?
I'm learning.
You're learning.
It's a learning.
Good for you.
I'm still. I have a training wheel on and a training wheel off, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I've never heard that before. A training wheel on and a training wheel off. So that means you trying to get there.
Yes, I'm getting there. It takes a lot of effort to say no because you don't want to disappoint anyone, knowing that you have a big compassionate heart.
Yes.
But I'm learning that you cannot do everything,
And
it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Wow. So when it comes to the girls and your wife, there is no pressure for them to be everywhere you are.
No.
There's no pressure.
No pressure at all. They run. When I say, well, I'm going out, do y'all want to drive? Oh, we'll drive separate. So 9 out of 10, they'll drive separate. But like on yesterday, we did drive separate.
Yeah.
But the youngest one wanted to stay with me. And she told me, she was like, Daddy, please don't go out here talking to everybody. Because we got things to do. She made it very clear. And she got a little frustrated, but when she seen the ice Kanea truck, I was like, I know how to get her.
All things are well. All things are well. That ice truck that Kanea and her husband have, like, shout out to y'all. What is the name of it?
It's what is it? Ice.
I can't remember, but
What's the
Kanea. Scoop. Yeah, what's the scoop? What's the scoop? So if you're ever in our area, which is Lake County, whatever, you want to check out, they do, Kanea, I don't even know why I'm giving you a shout out, but I'm giving you a shout out. So you can find Kanea connected to my page or whatever, and maybe I'll tag her in this when the broadcast is released. But so because I was wondering, I was like, okay, so how does he manage that? Because your wife also runs a business in a totally different county.
Yes, she's in Winter Garden.
Yeah, because she used to be at the mall. She's in Winter Garden. But I see you moving about over there in Winter Garden too, Fred.
Yes. Yeah.
Fred said yes. Fred, I told you.
I try to support. I'm really big on supporting. I mean, I really will push people more than I will push myself.
Yeah.
Because I want everyone to realize that you do have a purpose within yourself, and let me help you identify.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
And some people just need to know that someone believes in them or supports them, and it may be that tiny little push that they need, because sometimes we get in our own head and we just kind of feel like, oh, I don't know. But Fred is that person. Fred's that person. Okay, so Fred said he's learning to say no.
Learn to say no.
Okay, when it comes to the community, is there a particular thing, Fred, that you're most passionate about?
I love just being out and interacting with people.
Yeah.
Just to hear their concerns on how we can make our community better.
Right.
And I think that's what landed me with West Leesburg CDC.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Well, believe it or not, I was approached just to be a board member. And then within a span of time, like a year, they was like, oh, we need you to be the president. And I'm like, this is a big shoe to fill.
But I told you, like, look, like everybody wants him to be something.
It's a big shoe to fill, because you're talking about the founder, Miss Agnes Berry. That's a lot of shoes to fill.
That's a lot of shoes. That's more than one shoe.
So that was a heavy weight, but I prayed about it.
Yes.
I seek counsel with with our mentor.
Yes.
And I was released to do so. Wow. So it's not just me saying I'm gonna do it. I really do seek counsel. Make sure that I'm in a line on what I'm supposed to be doing as an assignment for the kingdom.
Right, because you know what, and I said this to our apostle, we were talking last night, I don't want to say yes to something just because I'm afraid to say no, and then I overcommit myself, and then I can't keep my promises. I can't keep my word, because then if they came to you, they saw something in you that they felt like would be a benefit either to their organization or to the community. So it's about figuring out what it is that you can support easily.
Right.
So how long did it take you to decide or to get confirmation that that was something that you could do?
It took a couple days.
Did it?
Because when you already know you're graced with something, it's easy to help to identify. But I've learned it's the timing.
Yeah.
It's like, is it now is the time, or do I need to wait?
Yeah.
And I'm learning that. Timing is everything. So once I identified now is the time, I went ahead and gave my commitment, and it has landed so many doors of opportunity within its community to help those that are unable to speak and advocate.
So tell us a little bit about this organization.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about it.
West Leesburg is, we redeveloped. It started way back in 2006 with Miss Agnes Berry. Carver Heights didn't have sidewalks, stop signs, some other things that they needed, home redevelopment. A lot of things were going under code. And when I say under code, that means that there were homes was going to be taken if they did not bring it up to par.
Bring them up to code.
Yes. So that's how it all got started, with that, just to identify on the west side of Leesburg.
Gotcha.
And that helped with the economic committee through the city to bring underlying power lines. So a lot of people don't know, if you really look around in our city, we don't have power lines because they're underground.
Wow.
So that all started with Miss Agnes Berry.
Really?
So that goes hand in hand with the redevelopment part of our city. So when you think about redevelopment, it's not just popping up a home here and there. It's making sure that you identify with the family on their needs, making sure that we're making people first-time home buyers. Are they educated on removing the blight? Because we say these words, but do we really know what they're meaning? So that's just making sure we do the beautification, because everyone deserves to be in a well-deserved area. Everyone don't need to be in poverty.
Right. And people need to feel like they're proud of where they live.
Yes.
In their community.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. No, I love that. So how long have you been serving in that capacity?
I've been a president for the last 3 years.
Wow.
So we do 4-year terms. 9 out of 10. They're gonna stick me around. I hope. I've been doing a phenomenal job.
Oh, you have. You have.
Yeah. Because and my philosophy is, when I go down to the city hall, they always, hey, what brings you down here? Just making sure you're doing your job.
Oh, pretty
because
much.
I don't want to make sure it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's those that are unable to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm advocating for them.
Yes.
So I go hand in hand with the commissioner of that particular district.
Right.
I make sure that I report back to he or she. And if things are not fixed, then that's when I go down to the city hall to say, hey, this is what the residents are saying.
Yeah.
Because that's
advocating for the people.
That's it.
Advocating for the people, because some people will never make that drive down there to say anything or whatever. So when it comes to finding out what the needs are, is there like a needs assessment, Fred, that is done? Is there, how do you engage the community to figure out what needs to be done when it comes to redevelopment or whatever?
Accessibility.
Gotcha.
I must be accessible. But I do know how to turn it on and off.
Gotcha.
What I have done is set up office, because we have an office in the resource center.
Yes.
And I set stage. Like I go there like I work a 9 to 5. But I make people know that I don't. That's $148,000 position. That if I go to any other county or city, I can be getting paid. I get zero, nothing. This is all time consuming.
Oh my
so I like to throw that disclaimer out, because people will look from the outside at the gleam of what you're driving and how you present yourself. But trust me,
that's
everything.
That's not coming
absolutely
from there.
Absolutely not at all. So, but I make myself accessible. That the doors are always open at West Leesburg in the resource center.
Yes.
If for some reason I'm not at the office, That's because I'm out in the community. I'm meeting with bankers and attorneys and other community leaders to see how we can better serve our community.
Are you well received?
9 out of 10 I am, but
Yeah.
I do get a lot of resistance.
Do you really?
I do get a lot because they see where I'm coming from and they don't necessarily want it in the city per se. But I keep telling them it's not about you and I.
Yeah.
No. You have to, once again, you have to be purpose driven, and I made it clear that I'm purpose driven and not people driven.
Yeah. And that's powerful, because if you are purpose driven, like whatever it is that you're working on, like it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're people driven, people can be finicky, people can be peopling. But when you're purpose driven, like I think your focus is sharper.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It's completely different because you're on another level and another realm to realize what's the critical need.
Yeah.
And that's how I always identify. I said I would never ever want it to be about me.
Never.
Because that's why you'll get caught up in the me, I.
Yeah.
And it's always about the residents in this community.
Always. Fred, what is the most exciting thing you've been a part of in the community? And I probably should have told you this question before you sat here so you could think. But what is the most exciting thing that you've ever been a part of?
Actually, you're not going to be surprised, but I'm part of 9 different civic organizations actively as of today's date. And every one of them, they really bring joy to my heart. Because if not, I won't be doing it.
Because what people don't understand is that just because you're asked to do something and serve somewhere, if it doesn't resonate with you, I'm kind of there, and I won't say too much, for I don't know who will end up seeing this, but I'm kind of there. Joined a board because I was heavily sought after because of my love of early childhood and that kind of thing, and just not feeling a connection that drives me to engage to whatever. And so you have to be really, so all 9, did you say 9?
9, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
and your place of employment is one of them, which
hallelujah.
is dear.
I told y'all, like he is always that volunteer. So Fred, are any of them boards or any of them? They're just you're connected with them and support physically or whatever. Like
it's a mixture.
Okay.
It's a mixture between ministry, on several boards with the ministry.
Gotcha. True.
School advisory for Leesburg High School.
Yeah.
I'm part of Sophisticated Gents. I'm on their executive board.
Yeah.
With United Way, I'm one of the ambassadors, volunteers. I'm part of the chamber, Leesburg Chamber. I'm a board member, a trustee. What else? Adopt the Highway for the scholarship. So I'm operating and running that for my scholarship foundation. And I feel like I'm missing one. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
wow. Okay. So, Fred, how can you encourage someone? Because it's not always about you being on a board. Right. You don't have to be on a board to do some good work. But just day to day being involved in your local community, what would you say to people about how important that is? Because if you're not in these places, in these rooms, in these conversations, you don't know what's being said. You don't know what funding is being taken away. You don't know what funding is there, and what it's for. And you may be missing out on stuff because you just don't know. What would you say to people to encourage them to just get involved and not to overwhelm themselves?
No, don't.
But to get plugged in.
That's right. No, and you said it very well.
Yeah.
Don't overwhelm yourself. Just try to get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
Find your purpose, what you're passionate about. That's the number one thing. What I often tell people is that when you find what your purpose or what you're passionate about,
Yeah.
you can turn it into money. You can also help others turn it into money, and that will open up so many doors of opportunity. But you just sit back and you observe to see where you can get plugged in.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes we complain about things that needs to change, but we're not being that change.
What are we doing?
And that's what led me to where I'm at now, because I kept saying, well, this need to happen, this need to happen. But I had to say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not part of any of this change.
Yeah.
So let me be a part of it.
Yeah.
And keep that torch lit. Because realistic, when we look at our baby boomers, especially me being a millennial, who's keeping the torch lit?
Yeah.
So that's what keeps my drive going, to know that I can continue to keep that torch lit when they're gone.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You know, you said something, it kind of reminded me of my twin sister. Shawana has this organization, a ministry called Sisters Helping Encourage. And Shawana, that came about, Fred, I don't know if you know the backstory, that came about because Shawana was just going through a really tough time and registered for like a women's conference, and the conference fell through, and then she felt like, oh my God, like I really wanted to go to that, be a part of that. And you know Yolanda Presley. It's only Yolanda. We have this group text that we're in, and Shawana got in the group text and told us, and Yolanda was like, so why don't you do yours?
There you go.
Why don't you do one? And then she said, you know, I think I'm telling her story right. She prayed about it, and God said to her, be what you need.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah.
Be what you need.
Be what you need. If you sit around and wait on somebody to be what you need or to create what you need, it's probably not going to happen.
That's good.
Because you're probably already, just the desire, probably, that's purpose stirring in you.
Right.
If you can just listen to it.
That's right.
But that's where she came about, where be what you need.
Be what you need.
And that's where she is. Okay, so as we wrap up, we want to talk about yesterday. This is a recording, so you know you're going to see it later, but in real time, yesterday was our MLK parade here in Leesburg. And so I'm at the parade, people, because, you know, I'm here. My twin sister, Mama's Love Bakery, was here as a vendor, and the studio is here. And so the parade is ending, everyone. And I'm like, we normally have this couple that is really Martin Luther King and his wife, representation or whatever. And it's always very tasteful. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, who is it? I'm not seeing anybody on the big fire truck or whatever. And I'm standing there, and all of a sudden turns the curve. It's Fred and Dan Trail. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I was so proud in that moment because my good friend Yolanda and her husband have done that before, and some really amazing people. But this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about that Fred does. So if you want to see the picture, it's on my Facebook page. It's a beautiful picture of him and his wife walking down Main Street.
Yes.
So how did you feel? How excited? Even though he's extremely humble, what was your response when you were asked to do that?
I was shocked. I was like, me? No, can't be. But it goes back to knowing that hard work does pays off.
Yeah.
It does, and that's what it's all about, to know that they count it as an honor just to see everything that we're doing and just to meet his legacy. That's like I say, you talking about shoes, that's
no, like I think, and I said it on the picture, I think the perfect couple for that. And so I am so humbled to be connected with you and your wife, and to know you and to watch your girls grow up. And so listen, one last plug to our viewers about the importance of serving in our local community. What would you say?
I would say get plugged in, no matter where your knit is. We have so many opportunities out there with organizations that you can plug into. If you don't know, please contact me or Mr. Warner. We will definitely connect you with some folks out there, and no pressure, but let's get in and get the job done for our community.
Yeah, let's get busy.
Yes.
Let's get busy. It's work to be done.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So listen, Fred also has an amazing testimony of God's faithfulness and healing. And so Fred will be back. We will bring Fred back. And hopefully we can bring your wife back, because that testimony is like, she plays a huge role in that. Like,
big part.
When you talk about bodyguarding,
Yes.
like
That was the bodyguard.
So listen, guys, again, I shared my favorite things with you. So that was Mr. Fred Griffin Jr. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So again, my name is Thawana. This is On Purpose. And thank you for joining. Remember to subscribe and to share. And I'm so excited that you're a part of our family. So remember, whatever you do, do it on purpose.